Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Eyes for Innovation. We are doing this for the International Certificate Center of Excellence, and we are doing these regular Eyes for Innovation sessions for all of our student community, our academic community, which includes all of our teachers, and also for professionals who want to pursue any kind of professional qualifications and degrees. These Eyes for Innovation sessions are specifically organized for you as a small brief video जो आप देख सकते हैं 15 से 20 मिनट में. We go live. We'll try to go live multiple times in a week with different topics of interest that can help you out with your professional journeys. Today, we have a very exciting topic that a lot of the students and a lot of teachers also face whenever they are pursuing any academic qualification, and that's the moral conduct. I'm joined by Sumbal Manzoor, who is the head of studies. I qualify UK. Assalamu alaikum, Sumbal.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you, Noor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on this series of Eyes for Innovation sessions. मैं सिर्फ ये देख रही हूँ कि we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So those of you who want to join us in the live conversation as well, feel free. We have the chat boxes options available. But हम आज की जो बात कर रहे हैं moral conduct के ऊपर, there's a lot of discussion, especially in the transnational education field, where students have access to a lot of qualifications which are इंटरनेशनल. हम पाकिस्तान में एक निसाब से पढ़ते हैं, एक तरीके से पढ़ाई करते रहे हैं, हमें वहाँ पे रिफॉर्म्स भी काफ़ी हद तक नज़र आते हैं. बट व्हेन वी कम अक्रॉस डिग्रीज विच आर फॉरेन बाउंड, विच आर मोर case study based, which are more assignment based, which are more your own creative, जिसमें ability बच्चों की सामने आए, analytical skills सामने आए, तो उसके अंदर कितना ज़रूरी है कि students understand what kind of moral conduct should they be following?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Noor. I think it's a very apt topic for academia, for students and teachers both, for both the communities, as you mentioned. I will actually start with बहुत सारे platforms हैं जहाँ पे हम academic integrity, academic ethics की definition पहले let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. So academic integrity के जो fundamentals हैं, that would be of course starting with honesty, there's trust, there's fairness, there is respect and responsibility. But beyond that, in the recent years, because as you mentioned, कि बहुत सारी foreign qualified degrees हैं और internationally recognized institutions are offering educational programs जहाँ पे then this ये possibility ज़्यादा हो जाती है because coursework based आपकी अगर assessment है या research based काम है तो उसमें there is more room to play in terms of academic integrity. So keeping that in mind, in the recent years when we look at a lot of the platforms जो academic integrity की बात करते हैं, they've added on another fundamental pillar which is courage to actually implement the ethics for academic professionals. Okay. So I'll now go back to the initial one. So it's about the honesty and the trust and the fairness that you develop. Because of course, academic integrity, अगर आप maintain नहीं करेंगे, then you're disadvantaging somebody. That's the first thing that we have to keep in mind as academics, as higher education professionals. That's what we need to be aware of. And for students as well, यही अगर हम ethic inculcate कर सकें कि it's about the fairness. If you're doing anything that lies that's for me that's the foremost pillar that needs to be looked at and that needs to be highlighted within our own classrooms, within our own generally as the education community, as I said.
Great. We just missed out the last line. I think the internet, I can see your signals are going a little bit wayward, but let me also see if you can fix your internet connection while we understand कि आप बात कर रही हैं कि हम एक fairness की बात कर रहे हैं, because obviously we say that whenever we speak about education, we say that, you know, it should have equality as the biggest value. वो equality वही चीज़ जो बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं वो सारे जो हैं वो फिर fairness से अपने जो मार्क्स हैं या अपने जो एकेडमिक उनकी डिग्रीज हैं उनको परस्यू भी कर सकें. Sumbal, I think if you say something, I think the internet is better now, but the signals keep coming and going. Okay, we can hear you.
Yes, I
We can
I
hear you
forgot.
now.
Okay,
Great. Yeah, we
sorry.
can
We
hear you now. No,
it's
no
very
worries, no worry. It happens sometimes, but at least we're getting the conversation recorded. मुझे ये बताइए कि फेयरनेस की जो डेफिनेशन है वो क्या है? बहुत सारी दफा हमने ये देखा है कि एज पीपल हु इंटरैक्ट विद द एकेडेमिया बहुत सारे बच्चे कंफ्यूज्ड होते हैं कि चीटिंग क्या होती है और किस तरीके से उसको हम क्लासिफाई करते हैं एंड व्हाट एक्चुअली कंस्टिट्यूट्स एज चीटिंग.
okay. Right. I'll actually start off with an anecdote because I've जितने साल हो चुके हैं मुझे काम करते हुए there's a variety of students and इसमें global learners बहुत ज़्यादा हैं that the ones I've taught or I've come across. So एक क्लास है plagiarism और बहुत सारी जगह पे including Pakistan and even other countries it's used very frequently. And for those of you who are in the teaching side of things, you would know कि softwares हैं जो कि identify करते हैं कि ये काम इसका source क्या है. So Turnitin is a very famous, very popular universal software that is utilized, and it's very sophisticated actually.
Yeah.
So जब students आपसे ये सवाल करते हैं कि मेरा plagiarism check कर दें, so
Hmm.
it sounds really funny because plagiarism means that you're actually uh, attempting misconduct.
Hmm.
आप सिमिलैरिटी चेक करते हैं तो मैं हर दफा क्लास में ये कहती हूँ कि यू डोंट चेक प्लेजरिज्म, यू चेक फॉर सिमिलैरिटी. सो पहली बात
Yeah.
तो जो कॉन्सेप्ट प्लेजरिज्म का है वो ये है कि किसी का भी कोई काम आपने लिया दैट ऑटोमेटिकली फील्स टू द लर्नर कि ये हम this can now be our own, this can be portrayed as my own work. So that is the
Hmm.
first thing कि plagiarism की definition needs to be very clear, especially उन learners के लिए who have not been part of assignment based or course based assessments. आपने पाकिस्तान की बात की, यस हमारा एक बहुत सेट पैटर्न है, एग्जाम बेस्ड इवैल्यूएशन है. जनरली जो पब्लिक स्कूल सिस्टम्स हैं हमारे, पब्लिक स्कूल्स, पब्लिक यूनिवर्सिटीज, इवन हायर एजुकेशन, देयर इज अ सेट पैटर्न जहाँ पे आपने करिकुलम डिलीवर किया और उसका एंड ऑफ द ईयर, एंड ऑफ द सेमेस्टर एग्जाम बेस्ड इवैल्यूएशन है
Yeah.
सिर्फ.
Yeah.
Some component, yes. Higher education में universities में भी होता है that they have some research or project based evaluations as well, but majority still relies on the exam. Exam में cheating जो है वो limit हो जाती है because you're being observed, you're being invigilated. So it actually immediately there's a lesser scope for a student to be able to do that. And because it's an endpoint assessment, it's a one starting at one, it's a closed assessment basically. It starts at one
Yeah.
point and ends at one point. Inbound है,
Yeah.
उसमें और भी ज़्यादा फिर आपके लिए manage करना आसान हो जाता है. In coursework and assessments, you have a bigger playing field. और दूसरी लेकिन बात ये है जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात कोर्सवर्क बेस्ड कोर्सेज के बारे में, दैट द क्वालिफिकेशंस जो कोर्सवर्क से असेस होती हैं उसमें ये कि यू डोंट हैव अ हिट और मिस मार्क कि आपने
Hmm.
40% 50% 60% अचीव करना है. यू हैव टू एक्चुअली बी एबल टू अटेम्प्ट कंप्लीटली एवरीथिंग. So they're actually harder than exam-based assessments, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're actually
Yeah.
more difficult.
Um, and I want to link it to what you're saying specifically with regards to the mental health of teens. So I work with a lot of teens, and we try to focus on whatever it is that is causing mental health and mental stress. And a lot of studies that I've come across have said that not every child is structured or their brain is wired to actually go in and take the pressure that a semester system generally holds. जिसमें आपने क्रंच करना होता है, जहाँ पे आपके ऊपर ये होती है एक it's kind of like this force fed कि आपने 6 subjects, 6 assignments, 6 exams, 12 midterms, etc. Not every child, and we see this even around us in our family circles. You'll also see that not every child is actually molded to take that kind of pressure. It does not mean कि वो smart नहीं है या उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग में कोई कमी है, बट जो आप बात कर रही हैं कि जो इस तरह के असेसमेंट्स हैं, स्पेशली द काइंड ऑफ क्वालिफिकेशंस दैट ICE is offering, the Higher National Diploma, for instance, why it has been taken so well in South Asian countries is because यहाँ पे बच्चों में एक analytical skills उसकी तरफ से ज़्यादा आए हैं. एक असेसमेंट का क्राइटेरिया हमने जब अलग कर दिया तो उसमें फ़ायदे भी बहुत सारे आए और बच्चे को आप बेहतर तरीके से एनालाइज़ कर सकते हैं। दूसरा जो एंगल यहाँ पे आई वांट यू टू टच ऑन, आई नो दैट यू नो यू आर एन एजुकेशन प्रोवाइडर एज़ वेल, सो you teach as well. How important it is for teachers as part of their classroom conduct to also like shed light के बच्चों को ये पता चले कि what's a go to practice and what's a not go to practice.
Right. Okay. Yes, very important to discuss that as well. And that again comes back to the responsibilities of the institute and then, of course, the people working within the institute. So I can give you our own example. You've referred to ICE. ICE में हम international qualifications offer कर रहे हैं, which is from your foundation year and the higher national diplomas, the undergraduate programs. अब एज आई सेड बिफोर, जो स्टूडेंट एग्जाम बेस्ड सिस्टम से आ रहा है उसके लिए इंटायरली ये बिल्कुल एक डिफरेंट अप्रोच है. इट्स अ 360 डिग्री टर्न अराउंड फ्रॉम व्हाट देव डन अप टू देयर 10 years of education in school. The first thing is for us to be able to clarify कि academic conduct के parameters क्या हैं. As I said, plagiarism ka concept, the word plagiarism is so frequently used, not realizing what it means. Plagiarism actually means that you are attempting to copy somebody's work and claiming it as your own, right? And having somebody's work as the source of your research, or having somebody's work understood and thought about and then reproduced as a discussion is entirely different. So initially, what we do as a practice within our own institute is that हम at the beginning of when the students are inducted, हम induction के time पे बहुत detailed ये वाली workshops कराते हैं बच्चों को. Academic reading and writing से हम start कराते हैं because reading academically is also a skill that needs to be taught. Not everybody understands कि आपने information source कैसे करनी है. Once you're able to source information, then there's of course a very limited chance कि आप उसको then you go into the misconduct academically. So the basic understanding of how do you build up your own work based on the existing research, yeah, existing information. Even let's say I'll go to a very popular program, which is the business program. Business mein undergraduate agar aap kar rahe hain, to of course it will be relevant to the company information, the information in the financial sector, information in the banking sector. ये सारी information आप source करके उसके ऊपर अपना कैसे analysis build up करते हैं, rather than just copying it out and pasting it. That of course falls under plagiarism. There's another term as well that comes up frequently plagiarism के साथ जो हम उसको, the second thing that comes up is collusion. That's also a very difficult thing to identify, and it becomes a very big challenge because collusion का मतलब ये है कि आपने किसी को support किया है in academic misconduct. That might be 2 or 3 friends just sitting together and saying ठीक है, आधा काम तुम कर लो, आधा मैं कर लूँगी, we'll produce the same paper, right? It's a very good gesture as a friend, but in the
Yeah,
academic arena, this falls under collusion. So these are
yeah.
things that we aim that we need to get the students sensitized with this, the actual parameters. That's very important.
एंड आई गेस यहाँ पे जो आप दूसरा बात जो कर रही थी वो ये भी है कि एट द पॉइंट we're still in an economy where the decision maker is essentially the parent who is taking out the money from their pockets in this economic crunch to ensure that their children are getting the best of education. उधर हमें भी सेंसिटाइज करना कि जो क्वालिफिकेशन की असेसमेंट्स है वो इसका हरगिज ये मतलब नहीं है कि they're going to be a piece of cake. Rather, what I can gather from what you're saying is that it is actually more a reflection of how well versed a child is. उसके अंदर वो professional skills कितने अच्छे develop होंगे. I've seen some of the curriculum of entrepreneurship and marketing related courses, all of the courses that excite me. और उसमें मैं देख रही थी कि जिस तरीके से जो सवालात हैं और जो असाइनमेंट बेस्ड अप्रोचेस हैं वो चीज है जो कि प्रैक्टिकली आपको प्रोफेशन में जाके एम्प्लॉयर वो चीजें आपसे पूछता है, वो आपसे उसकी अडेप्टेशंस पूछते हैं. और जो हम कहते हैं कि किसी क्लाइंट को जाके अगर आपने कोई चीज पिच करनी है, सो इट्स अ लॉट ऑफ दैट स्किल दैट इज कमिंग. सो मे बी द सेंसिटाइजेशन देन is also levied on part of the parents as well. Do you think that's a very important thing that we should be focusing on?
Absolutely. It's about the bigger inclusivity of the all of the stakeholders. Our parents की बात
Hmm.
करें, so students, teachers, assessors, and then the institute itself. बिकॉज आई एम श्योर हम अपने एक्सपीरियंस से भी रिलेट कर सकते हैं एक इंस्टीट्यूट की जो इन्वायरमेंट होती है दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सो द मॉरल कोड दैट द इंस्टीट्यूट और द यूनिवर्सिटी और द कॉलेज हैज दैट is unspoken and that automatically gets internalized by the student.
Hmm.
I'm sure you
Hmm.
can relate to all of the
Hmm.
different institutions
Hmm.
that you attended. I
Hmm.
can do the same as well. और हम अपने बच्चों
Yeah.
के साथ भी ये देखते हैं कि it matters the overall community. So when we talk about the academic integrity charters in colleges and universities, UK universities of course have a charter within
Yeah.
their charter they have the academic integrity policies, and we
Hmm.
at ICE as well have a similar approach. Trying to replicate the same standards and the quality assurance mechanisms. So, वो जो एक environment है of understanding that so उन सारे pillars को अगर हम inclusively
Oops, I think the internet.
अगर
Yeah.
let's take a scenario of a student.
Sorry, we lost you
Sorry,
there in
if
the
you can
middle
hear
for a
me.
bit. So if you could repeat your last sentence, Sumbul. Yeah, it's better now. We can hear you.
Yeah. Right. So as I was saying, the fundamental pillars जिनकी हम शुरू में बात कर रहे थे, उनको incorporate आप environment में करते हैं. Those are not something that you tell somebody to be honest and they'll be honest. You tell
Hmm.
somebody to be respectful and they'll automatically become respectful. You create that environment and you create that community. And university का जो charter, usually the ones that I've worked with, within that academic integrity is being involved in the academic process and understanding and knowing the academic process. Only then can you own up the morals and the ethics.
Sure. No, no, that's I completely agree. I think the kind of professionals that we are raising and the kind of demand that is coming now from the employer side as well is कि उनको एक जो वो well-rounded professionals चाहिए, उनके अंदर वो empathy, integrity की जो values हैं, वो सबसे पहले ऊपर आती हैं. बाकी सारी चीजें जो हैं, they've started taking like, they're coming lower in the cadre now. I also want to know, I think we have like around 2-3 minutes to go before we have to wrap up the discussion. But we put up a lot of emphasis, and you're saying that, the code of conduct, academic conduct needs to be primarily designed by the teachers as well. And I do know for a fact that there are a lot of teacher training programs that you're running. टीचर ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम क्यों जरूरी है टीचर्स के लिए? ये एक ऐसा एरिया था, आई बिलीव, बीइंग अ ट्रेनर माई सेल्फ, अ कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनर, हमें ये पता है कि कॉर्पोरेट में हम वैसे ही पुश करके लोगों को कह देते हैं कि जी अब आ जाइए. देयर इज अ जनरल कल्चर ऑफ फोकसिंग ऑन योर प्रोफेशनल ग्रोथ एंड डूइंग योर प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट. टीचर्स और एकेडेमिया में कितना ज़रूरी है कि हम ये चीज़ इनकलकेट करें कि आपको ट्रेनिंग गाहे बगाहे लेनी चाहिए और उनके टॉपिक्स क्या होने चाहिए. आई वांट टू शेड सम लाइट ऑन इट.
Okay, right. So I'll again try and
Yes, the internet is a little wonky. Let's see if we can get you back, Sumbal, quickly. Okay. We'll just have to hold on to this question and try.
taking
Yeah. Okay. We can hear you now.
your conversation forward, Noor.
Okay. I think the internet is okay now. We might be able to do a sound check and see. Okay, yeah, it's better now. I think we can hear you now.
Okay. That we try to responsibility to develop ourselves first. So आपकी
No,
अपनी per-
we couldn't hear
sorry, you're
you
not
there
able to
for a
hear me?
good 2 minutes. Now we can hear you, so you'll have to might have to repeat your last sentence.
Let's do it again. Okay, I'll start again. So the first thing that I said was the point that you touched upon earlier in your conversation was about that development, that moral development, and the shared values. That's the most important thing. So learner को हम shared values किस तरह उसके लिए एक environment create कर रहे हैं where those values are actually the umbrella under which all other skills can be developed. So academic integrity, I'll just take another minute on that. So academic integrity को develop करने के लिए you have to have a very clear vision on the shared values that you want to promote within the classroom, within the institute, and then within the wider community as a whole, and then of course then within the country and the society. Coming to your point about teacher trainings, so we as teachers, as educationists, are responsible for developing all other individuals, for all other professions. It's a big, big responsibility. And I think if that's just one thing that each one of us as a teacher recognizes, we will be driven towards our own professional development because there's always something changing in the global dynamics in terms of the sector, in terms of technology. And we need to keep up with our own professional development. And training a teacher to be able to get them up to speed with this, I would give how your career is actually.
I think we're losing you again, Sumbal, but I do get the gist of what you are saying. So let me paraphrase it for the audiences who are watching us. Creating that culture of professional development, आपने एक जो शेयर्ड वैल्यूज बनानी है लर्नर्स के लिए वही आपने बनानी है अपने इदारे के लिए अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए सो दैट ऑल ऑफ यू collectively can take those values forward. Focusing on the professional development is extremely important because there is so much that is changing. There are so many new technologies, techniques, tips, tools that are available now for academic individuals as well, that you need that continuous professional development over there as well. Sumbal, I am afraid I think your internet is still giving you troubles, but no worries. We're going to do another session of the live stream soon when we have hopefully better internet facilities. Thank you so much for taking out time. We will get these sessions edited and uploaded on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook channels, and also on the LinkedIn. If you have any other area that you would want to speak, here are experts come in and speak to you about, please feel free to leave it into the comments box and we'll come back to you. Sumbal, thank you so much for taking our time. We'll do another restream on this, a detailed one when the internet is favoring us.
Absolutely, of course. Thank you so much.
thank, thank you. Take care.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz.